I want to start off by giving all praise to Yahweh, Baal Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Baal Hashem, Rakak Radash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect. And Shalom to the 130 Ashurala, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, who before losing their true heritage were known as the Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, I want to go ahead and get into a term that is for one of Esau's psychological weapons. This is known as the Hegelian Dialectic. It says the synthetic solution to these conflicts can't be introduced unless those being manipulated take a side that will advance the predetermined agenda. George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, a man of Teman, or what you would know today as German, and ultimately an Edomite, or your so-called white man. Biblically, these people are known as the Edomites. This is Psalms 55 and 21. The word of his mouth was smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So this man here, George Hegel, basically came up with this idea that you could represent a problem, a reaction, and a solution to a people that you were trying to manipulate to ultimately get your agenda passed. This was very famous in Germany when the Nazis were in power, and again now that the Nazis are again in power, Nazis being the Edomites that the Bible said would rule the world at the end of the days. So onto the Hegelian Dialectic and the way this works and the way it divides our people and how it keeps these devils in power. It tells you here, it says, a framework for guiding thoughts and actions into conflict that led to synthetic solutions which can only be introduced once those being manipulated take a side that will advance the predetermined agenda. Controlled opposition, problem, reaction, solution. Because that's exactly what the Hegelian Dialectic is. So now that you know what this is, next let's find out who's actually using it. These are the wicked, or at least the kings of the wicked that the Bible describes in Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. It's these people. Now, two of these devils have died. Just this one here has just died. But for the most part, they use these institutions, from secret societies all the way to educational systems, and these systems of power across the world to introduce their agendas. The Hegelian Dialectic, right? So for example, an example of a Hegelian Dialectic or a problem, reaction, solution would be one, they want to shut down alt media, right? So what do? They present a problem on the news, right? Which again, they control. You know, they control the majority of the media out there, which is why the alternative news has popped up. Basically, the people realizing that the news that they have is trash and basically reaching out for alternative media, stuff that's not as edited, right? So what does the status quo or the people in power set up? They set up reporting on fake news, right? The president comes out and starts identifying fake news as the problem, right? Well, what's the reaction, right? What's the antithesis of the matter? It says, well, what happens is there's an online Big Brother censorship going on, right? You have things like YouTube happening, Facebook removing posts, blocking people, Twitter kicking people off, right? Banning them permanently, going after alt media figureheads, even though they were inserted, people like Alex Jones. And ultimately, what ends up becoming the solution or the synthesis? It's the removal of free speech on the web. That's the ultimate goal, right? It doesn't matter how you get there. You just gotta provide two. You got to provide a thesis, an antithesis, and people will end up at your synthesis. Because again, all you do is you got to lead them to there, but you can't let them lead. You can't let the masses know that you're leading them there, or else this would never work. That's why now that this is getting out, people are starting to see that double-sided image, or the dual choice is a false choice, right? This is why they represent, or they provide the whole Democratic versus Republican, the Pepsi, or the Coke versus Pepsi, right? This is why they present you with these systems, because again, Hegel believed that anything could be communicated to a person by breaking it into two thoughts, one for the left brain, one for the right brain, right? And this is Isaiah 28:15. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehoods have we hid ourselves. And that's what this Hegelian dialectic is. It's a way for these devils to present a lie and get you to blindly follow it as if you were the one who had suggested it, right? One big Hegelian dialectic narrative that's going to be pushed, or actually is being pushed right now, if you haven't noticed, let me walk you through it again, because ultimately this is going to all lead to the chip, right? Because this devil, he doesn't create new things, he just uses it over and over again. But just like, for example, the coming New World Order is a replay of the World War II Nazi takeover. It was a test run then, this is the actual run. But let's take a look at this current agenda to implant the 666 RFID chip into everybody. This is those small chips you're seeing come out on the news that people are taking so that way they can open their doors without keys. So that's the agenda, right? So what's the problem? The problem is that government and the world economy are corrupted. They're outdated and unfair to the new system, right? We constantly keep hearing about corruption and everything in the government. We hear about systems collapsing. The economy is just going to shit all over the place. Every place except for China, right? And those powers that are those status quo powers that are in place, the politicians, the police, etc., they're corrupted, right? And again, just we have an aging infrastructure. We still do things with facts. Things are presented that government runs slow and all that stuff, right? So that's the problem. Next, let's get to the reaction, or the antithesis, right? What have we done, or what has happened as a result of this problem, right? An inefficient over-regulations, which makes things worse, right? You can't sell lemonade on the street without getting harassed. You can't barbecue in the damn park without getting people to call because you're breaking some sort of permit. So what ends up happening? We try to make our lives easier, right? By creating these robots and developing this AI system, so that way we can let the robots think for themselves, because we're not smart enough to do this, right? So what happens? We end up creating an AI that will overtake humanity and eventually put our lights out. So that's the reaction that's just made things worse, right? So ultimately, what is going to be the solution? What can we then look towards for help? What solution are they going to try to provide us? And we can see it, but just if you pay attention to what's going on around the world, you'll find out what the solution that they're trying to offer you, right? The solution is to make a new world order, which that devil George Bush Scherf just died, right? He was a big proponent of that, talking about how it would be a better government. What did he say? He's all a government that followed laws and not the rule of the jungle. Though, you know, all the powers that the you know, what do they call these people, the neocons, or the you know, world globalist elite, they haven't followed any system, you know, because it's basically, these laws aren't for them, it's for us, the people, right? But that's what the Lord has put into the heart of Esau, right, to make him believe that he's about to get his new world order, right? And then what else does this new solution provide? Fair money, right? Because ultimately it's going to go through a Bitcoin sort of a cryptocurrency. That's what the whole world government currency is going to be based off of. It's all electronic, right? We're also going to get free healthcare, right? It's already being pushed around. Look up Oscar Healthcare. Basically, it's ran by the brother of what's that devil's name? Kushner, Jared Kushner, I think his name is, right? They're setting up the system, but again, the way that system works is that to get healthcare and benefits, ultimately they're going to more likely offer you a chip to carry your records around with you. And then plus, you know, we're already starting to hear from Elon Musk, the wonder boy of Tesla, SpaceX, because he sure didn't get any he sure wasn't set up by the government, right? You could be a good guy or whatever, or you may think he's a good guy, and you know, he's just the guy that they chose, that they released all their technology to, and who they've chosen to run this role, right? Of way of coming through as some super genius that, you know, that we all should look up to, that says that to overtake the AI, or so that way we don't let the machines beat us, we gotta get implanted in our heads or whatever. We gotta get implanted with an enhancement chip, right? And all this right here, right? The New World Order, the better government, the better money, the better healthcare. All of it could be yours if you take the chip, right? But, you know, hopefully it's pretty obvious to most of you that this devil lies. If you look at his track record, just ask the Indians. Out of all the treaties he made with the Indians, who are biblically known as the tribe of Gad, one of the 12 tribes of Israel, what has this devil done? How many treaties does this devil keep? The answer is none. Right? It's pretty crazy when you think about it, but that's what's happening. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. At least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And that's exactly what this Hegelian dialectic is. It's a device of Satan. Right? It was created to split your mind on decisions and for you to be led astray. So, just as it says in Numbers 23:23, no enchantments shall work on Jacob, meaning that once, you know, that these magic spells, they don't work on us and stuff, especially when you know how they work, right? Most of you who are watching this, you know, understand that this devil tries to use this tactic, but now you understand what they call it and what they refer to it as, the Hegelian dialectic. So I hope you found this lesson edifying, Akim. Till the next time, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakak Bardash, double honors to my teachers, the apostles of the Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect. Shalom.